As the new Greenpoint update looms ahead, many are getting ready for a new surprise. Greenpoint's community is starting to stir from various new departments and vehicles, promising a new chapter in many Greenpoint citizens' lives and roleplay experiences. These are currently, but not limited to, Greenpoint Security Solutions, Greenpoint Aviation Fire Department, DOT, Department of Transportation, and many, many more. Most of us have progressed to the present and are looking forward to the future. But today, I will take you backwards, as the people that we wave goodbye to are vanished forever in our rearview mirrors, as we continue our journey as a community. Many of us have forgotten these people, and with good reason should they be forgotten, as they have done things that have negatively impacted the Greenpoint community. But I feel differently. When you see band members, I see an opportunity to learn from their mistakes, and not fall into the rabbit hole of anti-Greenpoint cults and underground plots to take down the community that many call home, Greenpoint. So take my hand as we dive into Greenpoint's most high-profile band members and cases, and the destruction that they left in the wake of their banishment.
Let's go. Brand new Lamborghini, a cop car, with a pistol on my hip like I'm a cop.
Now before we start this video, I would like to thank you guys for tuning back to my content, as it has been a long while. While you're at it, why not like and subscribe? It takes less than a second and helps me out a ton. Thanks! Louisiana, also known as BBQ, was a former staff member of Poco Studios. In fact, in his time, I was familiar with almost every community member, but was surprised to hear his name pop up as a new staff member, alongside with my good friend, April 21. He seemed like a rather nice person. I never really saw him in game and never really interacted with him. It seemed as though he kept his friend circle well away from mine, but that did not bother me, as I had other connections within the staff team, such as my good friend, to this day, Turk Schneid, who would provide me with countless content to cover. It is rather well known that staff members above the rank of administrator was given a special tool that came with the popular Adonis admin panel. This would be no other than B-Tools. B-Tools, also known as Building Tools, was a tool that allowed the staff member to interact with objects server-wide and cause live changes, such as changing their color, changing their mesh, adding effects such as sparkles and fires, all while the rest of the server can see. So, one day, I was greeted with Police Officer 1221's announcement that some assets were stolen. Then a couple of hours later, the announcement of the blacklist of BBQ, or Louisiana_operator. It is believed that he stole the staff cars and was planning to sell them to other communities or use it for his own purposes. With B-Tools, he had access to all the vehicles within the game and probably stole it using the building tools. As the building tools isn't that hard to use to steal assets from any game where one owns B-Tools. This is why that Police Officer 1221 picks staff members with a very rigid iron fist and does not want assets to be leaked, as it can cause a lot of morale damage to the community in addition to asset theft. And if someone else is profiting off your hard work, for example maybe a vehicle or a building, it hurts inside, which is why Police Officer 1221 isn't hiring many staff members to this day, as many are banned, as you will see on this list further. Now the cars in question was later leaked onto the ROBLOX free model toolbox, and to this day you can see where it sits. If you search the keyword staff cars, it will pop up as the Explorer 2016 model, in addition to the 2014 Dodge Charger with the white and red livery with server staff on it, and it gives us a grim reminder of how these assets were stolen and a bittersweet memory of how these cars roamed the streets before and was seen performing duties that were pretty favorable within the community, which includes banning exploiters, warning RDMers, and putting a stop to tool abusers, a savior for many. Unfortunately, this story does not end here, as Greenpoint is flooded with exploiter attacks to the point where Greenpoint goes paid access for 25 Robux, the minimum amount of Robux one could put their game on sale for, Louisiana was accused of orchestrating these attacks. Then proceeding to directly attack a server, now probably discontinued, this is speculation, named Manhattan, New York, by Polkle Studios, which Coop, FDN Mike Coop, former co-founder of Polkle Studios and Greenpoint, spent a lot of time on. Not a lot of community members know Louisiana operator, but he should be seen as a selfish member that takes whatever he pleases and uses it for his own benefits, which includes these assets, which later, when caught, led to his ultimate demise. Very well deserved. Ever thought of being a part of a revolution? Well, this definitely was not on Silly Gamer 012's mind during her term as an administrator for Polkle Studios. To briefly give a backstory on Silly Gamer to those that are not familiar with her, yes, it's a female, and I am also trying not to freak out. Totally. Just kidding. Silly Gamer is a long-lasting community member within the city of Greenpoint, joining right when it started, alongside me, which makes her a veteran of a community once welcoming of her presence. Being a female existing in a roleplay community with a majority full of males, she was constantly simped over. Simping is when a male is overly submissive to a female and gains nothing from it. So overly submissive that other guys cringe and feel ashamed when seeing them. This applies to males in relationships when they are so submissive that they say literally anything to be in favor with the female. Thank you, Urban Dictionary. Very much enjoyed of that fine definition of simping. She was later hired into the staff team with another female community member, Minnie Maley, her best friend. As months pass and promotion after promotion, she gets her gaming laptop, which little to her knowledge also caused her demise. After getting her gaming laptop, she gets bored of Greenpoint and starts to play 5M. For days on days, she would pour her time over this GTA 5 roleplay community, then establish staff ranks there, in addition to many third-party ROBLOX communities backdooring off of Greenpoint. Finally, after some digging by internal affairs, she is kicked for her actions after a community blacklist notification, City of Nevada, by MyD34, also known as Death or Darwin. Stripped of all her staff roles, powers, and privileges within the Greenpoint server, she later went on a tirade on how she was falsely kicked, later banned. After disrespecting a couple of staff members, she decides to get banned herself, even though that she has banned countless many for those actions. It would be great if the story ended here, as my throat is rather getting dry and I am running out of footage, but no it doesn't. Remember when I mentioned a revolution? Well, she decided to gather all of her male friends, simps as we call it, and stage a full-out walkout from most high command positions in Greenpoint, specifically the Federal Bureau of Investigation, where she formerly held the deputy director role. This fails miserably and gets another handful of people banned, including Greenpoint's mega simp and NASCAR champion, Caden, also known as IIV's Law. She now lives among her own world, hovering here and there in 5M communities and mainly focusing on her IRL life. Hopefully, she closes this chapter in her life and moves on to become America's next basketball champion or something. Best of luck. And there you have it, two very high-profile cases where a staff member was banned and tried to take down Greenpoint with it. My take from this is not to fill too much time outside of Greenpoint if you decide to become a staff member or high-ranking department member. It's always best to keep your home close to yourself as times change and your actions always have consequences. In many instances, these people involved themselves in third-party roleplay communities, which led to their demise. So what's the lesson from today? Don't get yourself too high in a third-party roleplay community unless the founder knows what they're doing, not to get themselves blacklisted from Greenpoint, which includes backdoor recruiting and DM advertising. And if you're going to try to steal assets, get some help. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you want me to dig deeper into the cases of banned members, please leave me a like on this video, and if we do hit 30, I'll do another video like this, or DM me of someone's name. Until then, have a blessed rest of your week, and stay safe. I'll see you around.